Joining us to talk more about this latest set of charges and what comes next here is Kimmy King, political science professor at UNT. Thanks so much for being with us today, Professor King. This is a slightly different scene than we have seen in the former president's previous indictments, including a mugshot that's expected to come out of this one. Talk a little bit about why that is.
Part of it is because of the position that Fulton County is taking. And when you look at the way criminal prosecutions are done in state cases, there is discretion in each of the jurisdictions about how they approach things. And the Fulton County Jail had made it very clear they're going to follow the procedures and they're not going to make any exceptions.
The DA there, Fani Willis, made it clear that, the jail is open 24/7. Any of these defendants, including the former president or any of the co-defendants, can come at any time. He could have opted to go in the middle of the night. He chose prime time here. Does this hurt him or does this help him with his base? I mean, he's almost choosing to make sure that the cameras are there.
Yes, and it can also be an issue regarding security. That's one of the other things about all four of these trials is that how you will proceed, you have to think in terms of how you staff for the days when there are going to be activities surrounding the litigation. And like everything in all of the cases, and including Rudy Giuliani and the other defendants, there are going to be these media takes on how this is approached, whether or not he chose it that way. You have to remember he shook up his legal team. Those are all larger questions that are kind of difficult to answer. This is very different from every other criminal case we've seen.
Yeah, talk a little bit about how serious this particular case is there in Fulton County in Georgia.
Yeah, one of the reasons why Fulton County is so fascinating is because, again, it's a state case where you have the two other federal indictments and then the one up in New York. But Georgia is distinctive because it has this racketeering charge. Racketeering is usually for conspiracies to engage in a common goal in a criminal manner. It was used for the mob in the 1970s, but it's been used in other circumstances, gangs, drugs, that sort of thing. It is a serious felony. The lead count with which former President Trump is charged is considered to be a serious felony. And under it, there is jail time if the judge chooses to impose jail time. Now, there can also be a fine. So that's one of the key differences. Another key difference is that you have the 18 other co-conspirators, which means there's an incentive for those co-conspirators to flip and to turn state's evidence. So that also makes it a more dangerous case.
Yeah, and, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
The last thing, I'll keep it short, is that you're going to have video camera. The New York case only allowed still photos. Georgia has some of the most liberal laws regarding cameras in the courtroom. New York has some of the most restrictive laws regarding cameras, and the federal courts don't allow it at all. So everyone will see what occurs.
And of course, a conviction on state charges would be something that, let's say, a future Republican president would not be able to pardon someone for there. I want to ask you this, because, we're all watching this jail there, this courthouse there in Atlanta today, and, it means less talk about the GOP debate that was held last night, which the front runner, former President Trump, decided to skip. And so, by turning himself in today, there's less attention on the other 8 candidates who were battling it out on stage last night.
Yeah, although we also have to recognize that they have a deadline until tomorrow, and the Georgia County, Fulton County's made it pretty clear they're going to enforce this. People better be turning themselves in. So that absolutely is the case. The other thing that's interesting about the jail there is that it's under an investigation by Biden's Department of Justice regarding its conditions. So you're also going to see other controversies surrounding it. Moving forward, this is going to be an ongoing difficulty with how you manage what's happening in the GOP, what's happening with the other cases, what's happening in the campaign. And so we are going to get a little glimpse of how some of this chaos is going to work. So what you're talking about right there is one of those examples of the chaos.
Yeah, this will be an election cycle like none other. Political science professor at UNT, Kimmy King, thanks so much for sharing some wisdom with us today, making us smarter about this.
You betcha.